Well, hello. So, welcome to Align and Activate Raw Talks and Universal Truths. And here we are exploring all things spiritual, manifestation, quantum healing, channeling, light language, you name it. We've got it covered. And today we are joined by the beautiful
Jenny Priestner, manifestation and mindset mentor, master NLP practitioner, channel and healer. So I help you release old mindsets and energies of the past so you can rise up as the best version of yourself and align with everything that you are meant to, manifesting the future you desire.
Oh, I love that so much. So exciting. So, my name is Amy, Activation Amy, and I am a light language activation guide and mentor. And I help light workers and healers to activate their gifts, to claim their channeling abilities, and to manifest their highest path and to really get themselves out there and to create beautiful healing businesses that change lives. So today we are going to be talking about how to raise your vibration, because this is a big topic, and there's a lot of different ways that we can go here, but we're going to be discussing ways that we've raised our vibration in the hope that it will inspire you to live a more high vibrational life. So, Jenny, I'm going to invite you to start with just explaining a little bit about, when we talk about vibration, what does that actually mean?
Okay, yeah, perfect. So I'll try and keep this really simple then. So I know obviously we are looking at everything and we see it as a solid mass, including ourselves, the desk in front of us, the trees. But in actual fact, everything is super zoomed in. Everything is made of atoms. Even our cells are made of atoms. So if we imagine these are little teeny tiny balls and everything is vibrating. So whether it's a solid, liquid, or a gas, it's going to be vibrating at a different flow, a different state. So the universe in itself is it's obviously consistent of many levels of vibration. And there's obviously high vibration, which is, it can be more positive situations, I would say. So you've got like more high frequency things such as emotion and love and joy. And then you've got kind of low vibration, which is obviously emotions and situations, which is sort of like toxicity, guilt, fear. So us ourselves as a vibrating state, we are wanting to always achieve a higher vibration because we're going to be experiencing a more positive lifestyle, really, and our bodies are going to be in less disease. It's going to be experiencing dis-ease. So yeah, so with everything, the universe is beautifully orchestrating an energetic dance of vibrating atoms, and we are in that dance. We are dancing with the universe. So we can either choose to cha-cha slide with it, or we can stand there and do a two-step shuffle and be really stiff and rigid. So it's we can either so you can either dance with the universe or, rigid. So that's my explanation of energy and vibration with the universe today.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah, yeah. For me, it's definitely about like everything being in a state of flow, in a state of um allowing. And yeah, I love that you've explained it as a dance, because being a dancer myself, it's like that's something that I really resonate with. So the first point that we were going to come to is how to know when you are in a low vibration. Okay. So I'll tell you what it's looked like for myself, and I'll kind of talk about more of like a low vibrational time. So if as Jenny said, it's about being in this beautiful state of dancing and allowing and flowing in the cha-cha slide, then the opposite of that is feeling stuck, right? And for me, it kind of felt like being a prisoner to my own mind. It felt like being in a state of hopelessness. And probably the biggest time in my life that I can relate to, there's two times that I can probably think of. And one one time was the first time that I can think of when I was 18. And I was, you know, taking a lot of recreational drugs and all of that stuff. And I'm not saying that, you know, anything is wrong with partying or any of that, but when it was like quite in a state of addiction and emotional dependence and all of that, because it's looking at something outside of you and seeing that as being a way of feeling like trying to get something. And I guess where I'm going with this is it's been in a state of like chasing, like in a chasing energy, right? So, you know, we've talked a little bit on here about like relationships and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, it's when you feel like someone's chasing you, or when you feel that like neediness from someone, it's kind of quite repellent, isn't it? And that's like, for me, you know, when I know that I've been in that state at certain times, it's just like I'm not accessing my own power, I guess, is where I'm going with this. And it's a low vibrational state is feeling not very powerful. It's feeling like you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you know, you're not enough, that you need something outside of yourself. Like it's a state of neediness. So I don't know where you want to kind of follow up from there with that. I just need to plug my phone in. I am still here.
She's vanishing.
So you carry on.
So this is just the Align podcast now. So for me then, so I'll just touch on what Amy was saying there. So what she's saying is it's external validation. She was always chasing, she was always waiting for somebody else to say I love you, rather than loving herself. Always, you know, like that's what people do, don't they? They want the validation from elsewhere that they are doing the right thing, that they are loved. So that's to do with the whole chasing thing. So yeah, I definitely resonate with that journey myself. But for me, when I was in a low vibrational life, like I feel I was at my absolute worst. I was in a suicidal state of mind.
Yeah.
I was depressed. And quite a lot of mine was brought on by my hormones, because I had premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So whatever I was experiencing anyway, the PMDD just absolutely plummeted it into, it just amplified it tenfold. You know, I'd wake up one day, I'd convince myself that none of my friends like me. I was, you know, dis-ease was massively in my life. I was having transfusions. The blood disease that I had was just running riot in my life, because I was in such a low vibrational state that I was just attracting, you know, especially narcissistic people that weren't treating me right. And this low vibrational energy that I was putting out was then mirroring back with my son. And again, he was being, you know, I was a single parent, I was struggling on my own. And my depressed, low vibrational mood was going back out to him. And then he was mirroring it back to me with just being a little brat. And so, you know, I'm thinking, God, he's such a hard work child. But really, it was my vibration was creating his vibration. And the moment that I healed myself and changed my vibration, that's when our relationship improved. So yeah, I definitely experienced the very, 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 you know, the low bit of it. And I speak about a lot of this with my life coaching. And I seriously got to the point where I was just like head in hands. And it was like, there's got to be more to life than this. Like, this cannot be it. Like, this is, and I speak about it a lot. This is existing. This is not living. This is where you are just waking up every day. And I used to call it the treadmill of life. Like every day, it was just one foot in front of the other, just getting through life. Everything I was doing, like making my son pack lunch, making food, everything was a task. Everything was a mission. Everything was boring. Everything. I was complaining about everything, complaining about myself, complaining about life, complaining about my parents. Like I wasn't happy with anything. And I was blaming all that for not being right, when really it was me not being happy with everything that was in front of me. So this is why, again, I concentrate on rewiring and reprogramming the mindset, because it's not life that's the problem. It's you. You are the problem that is creating your problematic life, if that makes sense. And I know that is a hard pill to swallow, but it is, because the moment that you change how you look through your lens of life and you change your vibration, your world changes. So yeah, so that's where I was in my low vibrational state. I just did not want to be here. And that is an extremely low vibration to be in. And I feel like quite a lot of people do get themselves into that situation. And unfortunately, you know, people do feel that there's no way out and this is how it's meant to be. So yeah, that's the home truth of my low vibrational state on that one.
Yeah, so like definitely, I mean, that was where I started to go, I think. Like when I was 18, I tried to take my own life, and that was because of all the things that were sort of going on. So I think that that is like the ultimate kind of lowest vibrational state, because I think that there's a difference, like with, you know, every now and again, like you sort of have thoughts of, oh, like I want to go home and things like that. That's been like a recurring thing like my whole life, and I understand that as to be like, now it's my connection to, let's say, the stars. It's my connection as a soul, knowing that this is an experience that I'm having, but it's not my ultimate home. It's about coming home to myself, right? But like, yeah, I can really relate to the suicidal thing. That's like, you know, you don't want to be here. And there's no, you kind of like, yeah, you don't want to be here, but it's like every day you are just existing and you're in survival mode, because it's like you just sort of like, you, every day it's just like, well, I've got to eat, I've got to make money, I've got to, do you know what I mean? And that it's pressure. Like it just felt like constant pressure, and it was just like at a point where I was like, I'm never going to be good enough to like even exist in this world. So I would say like it's a state of total and complete disempowerment.
Mm.
um that's like where, you know, where I was at when I was 18, and I experienced a different level of that in my 30s in my corporate job, where my body, it was like I felt like my body started to turn against me, and every time I would leave the house I couldn't even cross the road without having a panic attack. Like, because I would get so anxious, stood at the red lights, waiting for the traffic to stop, because I felt like I was a massive inconvenience on everyone, and I didn't want to inconvenience people when they were like stopping. It was so strange. But I think we go through points in our lives where we are transcending something. And I think the point that me and Jenny are trying to make here, not to speak for you, Jenny, but that it's it's normal to go through times where you just like questioning everything, and like you're like, well, what the fuck's it all about? Do you know what I mean? Especially when you're going through a spiritual awakening, which is the journey that we've definitely been on. And you can refer back to our, I think it's the first podcast that we ever did, you know. So when you're going through a spiritual awakening, you waking up to who you truly are as a soul. And you, it can definitely look like going through times of depression and anxiety. As your vibration is raising, the ego part of yourself, you're shining a light on that like density, or those, you know, that darkness, the shadow within you. And that's it, it's quite different, right, from just being in a low vibration, because your focus and your awareness is starting to change as you wake up, and you are starting to learn about who you are. But that can also look like a period of disillusionment, and what the fuck even is this? Do you know what I mean? So there is a bit of a difference there. So I don't know if you want to continue on with
I
that.
just wanted to say as well, everything that you are experiencing in a low vibration. So you might encounter toxic people, you might have anxiety, you might have depression. anything that you are experiencing is a messenger telling you to change your vibration. Because if everything was fine, you wouldn't feel the need to change. You wouldn't have that catalyst. So these are the universe, spirit guides, angels, like whichever you want to call it. They can't just come over and, by the way, now the time is to change. Like they have to send a message in a different way. So you may encounter disease. And so from that, it's like you get to a point of, right, well, I can either live with this and just do the same thing day in, day out, or I can make change and try and do something different. Again, with a mindset where you are in a, where you're just ruminating and you think about all negative things. Again, you can either carry on as you are, or there's an element of you that wants to change. So each and everything of these it's a messenger telling you to do something different than what you are already doing. So it's like they say, don't they? Depression is deep rest. Disease is dis-ease. So all it is inviting you just to change something about yourself in your life to try something different. But this is like the double-edged sword is we are creatures of habit. We like to wake up every day. We like to do exactly the same thing that we did yesterday because we feel safe with that. We know it worked. And it's a control C, control V, whichever way around it is. It's a cut and paste, isn't it, for the next day? But that's how we end up with same shit, different day because we just do the same thing on and on and on. So with raising our vibration, it is about making incremental changes. And these incremental changes is then going to invite a different way of living into your life, a different way of thinking, a different way of being. And we're going to go on to ways of how to raise your vibration in a bit. But just one example, just for saying it. So you might wake up every morning and go and have your coffee and crack on with your day. But what would happen then if you woke up every morning and went and had a cacao instead of a coffee? Just think about it for a moment. That one change of doing something different, how would that impact your life? So then I invite you then to wake up and rather than snoozing your alarm clock every day, actually get up and do that. Again, how would that change make you feel? And then I invite you to, rather than just waking up dead late and rolling downstairs and go make your breakfast, go and do some journaling. How would that make you feel? And this is how we get to change who we are as a person at our core, by making these slight shifts. And I understand, when you're inviting people to make change, like, well, I don't have time for that. And it's like Amy and I have not got where we are by saying, well, I've not got time for that. Because once upon a time, I did used to say that. It's like, I'm a single parent working full time. I am literally tearing my hair out, trying to get everything done, making packed lunches, making this is done, make that done. But if I'd have carried on with that mentality that I was having, I wouldn't have got where I am today. I had to make time for myself. I had to make time for these changes in order to experience a different vibration. So again, it is inviting yourself to make change, and you have to push yourself through that lazy boundary, that comfort zone boundary, that can't be arsed boundary, because what you're going to experience on the other side is far more magical and greater than what you're experiencing now. So don't let the ego trap you into that can't be arsed, we don't have time for that mentality, because that is just your ego trying to keep you safe and trying to keep you locked where you are. So I feel like I've touched on a few there then. So go on then, let's move on to now then. In what ways would you say you have raised your vibration and changed your life? Has she frozen? Can you hear me, Amy? You with me now? You froze?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Right. So in what ways then have you raised your vibration then that's helped you change your life?
Right. So I want to just talk about the time thing first of all, because this is a really, really big one, because this is the world's number one excuse for everything. It's I don't have time. Okay. Now, the fact is, we all have the same amount of time. There's 24 hours in the day. How you use every single second of that 24 hours, whatever your circumstance, is up to you. Okay, it really, really is. So I really like the fact that you mentioned that you're a single parent, and that, you've overcome like illness in the body, like major, major illness, right? Where you was having blood transfusions, yeah, and depression and anxiety, and a single parent with a kid, yeah, and yet you somehow, you had a really, really good job, and now you've got like a successful business, right? As a single parent going through all of this. So I really love this example, because this is something that, people come to me with, but Amy, I don't have enough time. Well, the fact is that we're all human, and how we use that time is up to us. So one of the major ways that you can start raising your vibration today is by saying to yourself, because it's a mindset in itself, I always have more than enough time, right? You're creating your time. Yeah. Yes, we are humans that are having a linear experience. And the reason that we have time in this 3D reality is so that our brains can measure our experiences, right? So we come into this earth, we are born, we live, and we die. That's how it is as a human, right? That's how it is in this reality. It's not like that in other realities. It's not quite the same as that, right? So when you start to understand that you can play with time, and you can bend time, let's say, you are raising your vibration, because it's that in itself is an abundance mindset, right? Saying to yourself constantly, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough, right? That's a lack mentality, which is a low vibration, right? So the more that you affirm that to yourself, the more that you are creating not enough time. So something I had to start doing, right, when I had a full-time job, so I was waking up at 4:45. At one point I was going working in a warehouse, then I was coming home absolutely exhausted out of my brain on about 2 or 3 hours sleep a night. And then I was having coaching people, right? And then I was like building my business in the evening, right? But the fact was, I knew that this was my calling. I knew that this was my purpose. And the only way to transcend what it was that I was doing was to start changing my thoughts and my beliefs about what was currently happening. So I could have said to myself, I don't have enough time, I'm exhausted, right? But the mindset I decided to take instead, and the way that I changed my energy, was when I do my spiritual work, okay, no matter how tired I am, it will energize me. And it did. And I did it a little bit at a time. It's not about putting massive pressure on yourself to change things overnight. All this bullshit that you see online about, I made 10K in a month and all that crap. I'm not saying that it's not possible. It is possible. It's very possible. However, for the majority of people, right, and it depends on your background, it depends on the work that you've done, what that does is it puts a lot of pressure on you, right? So it's about affirming to yourself, it's changing in small increments every day, becoming 1% better, right? And the 1% better for a lot of people looks like starting off with, I always have more than enough time. And the other big one that I see as well with my clients, right, that are manifesting their healing business or healing work or whatever, is I'm not supported. And that was another big one for me as well. It's like, I'm not supported, I don't have the money. And the fact is, again, you can manifest support. So you have to start confirming to yourself, I am supported. And the support will come. And that might look like a way being made for you to have more time, right? A lump sum of money coming, right? Like I manifested my way out of a corporate situation. Then there was like lockdown and COVID, and then I found myself back in a warehouse situation. But then I manifested my way out of that because it changed my thoughts about what was currently happening, right? And it didn't look like I had the time, and it didn't look like I had the money, but I managed to change my reality. And if I can do it, and Jenny can do it, so can you, because it's possible for everyone, because we're no one special. So does that even answer your question, or have I gone off on a tangent there?
It didn't answer the question, but you was tying on to what I'd said, but it was
Right.
all very necessary. And it's true though, like, you know, we've no both not made our businesses by just logging onto the computer an hour each day. Like, you know, I'd be working all day, I'd get home at night, and then I'd have to open up and be coaching all night long. But you had to be doing it. This is what needs to be done, if that makes sense. Like, you know, when people like, you know, manifestation is effortless and is flow, but you still got to kind of show up and do the work, if that makes sense. And at first you might have to
Yeah.
go in 100%, but when things start to
Yeah.
settle down, you can, you know, ease off the accelerator a little bit slightly when business starts ticking over. But yeah, so I will start on then. So the ways in which, because obviously you've heard how I was in a low vibration, I was in, you know, depression, everything was, the world was against me. I hated myself. Like it couldn't have been any worse, really. So the ways in that I had to start doing that is I had to, this is where my program came from. I had to shift my mindset. So it went from, you know, constantly repeating to myself everything that was going wrong in my life. And I feel like gratitude, people are like, oh, gratitude, it's everyone who does that, but it helps. So gratitude on the emotional vibration scale. So we've not actually mentioned this, every thought that we are thinking, and every thought that we are feeling as well is emitting a vibration out to the universe. So thoughts such as gratitude, love, and joy, these are very high vibrational. I think the 935 hertz, don't quote me. And then things such as fear, shame, guilt, these are very low vibration. So when you're fit, you're like, you know, you're slagging your mate off or you're feeling fearful about something, you're sending this vibration out into the universe. And this then is going to be mirrored back to you. So in that moment when I was like, hating on myself and hating on life, I had to shift. So I used to write down about all the things that I loved about my life, everything that I was grateful for. But it's not just a case of like, I'm grateful for this. Give it arms and legs. Like, really, why are you grateful for that? What is that bringing to you? And it is it is a mindset shift of the things that you probably hate about your life. You actually probably really love them, but what you're choosing to do is look at the negative aspect of it. Like, for example, at one point, like, obviously I'm a homeowner. Like, you know, I used to say my house was like a noose around my neck because I just saw it as like a leech for money. And I always had to do this and I always had to do that. And it's like, yeah, but you know, my home is my home. It is my beautiful home, full
Right.
of my high vibrational energy. I'm not giving my money away to um you know, a landlord. This is my house. I can do what I want with it. So rather than looking at it and like, you know, just things like that, it's so what are you complaining about at this moment in your life? Yeah. And you'll be able to reel off 3 things that you could always complain about. Hate my job, hate this, hate that. Okay, reframe an NLP technique. So reframe that now. So your job, this allows you to pay your bills. This allows you to live the lifestyle that you're currently living. And if you're complaining about your lifestyle, if you've got lighting and heating in your house and you've got food on your table, you've got nothing to complain about with your lifestyle. If there's a lack of money somewhere, then assess your funds. Everything that you are looking at from a lack mentality or a negative mentality, shift it and be grateful for what you've got. Because when you are grateful, the universe looks and like, oh, she's loving what I've sent her. Do you know what? I'm going to send her a little bit more to love. But when you're like, I hate that, the universe is like, well, she's not enjoying that. So therefore, I'm not going to give her anything else to hate. And that's exactly how it is. You've got to see that you are being a spoiled brat in the universe. You know, like if a kid's like, don't want that ice cream, it's like if a parent's like, oh, well, have this one instead. All you're teaching that child is to be bratty next time. But if the child is like really, oh, thank you so much, the parent's going to be more like, oh yeah, have this one, have that one. And that's what the universe is like with you. So don't be bratty because the universe is not going to give you more. That
Mm.
is my statement for that one.
Or it'll give you more things to be bratty about, right?
Yes.
So and obviously, you know, that's not what you want. And like, oh, I think, yeah, it's just I think something else that comes up as well, and this is what I just want to talk about for a moment. Both of us have been through like quite severe anxiety and depression as well, right? And it's and I think this is another big side of it as well, like because I know I definitely went through a time of like mental health, like, and you did as well, right? And a lot of people do on this journey, but I always knew deep down that I had a purpose, and that it is how you look at everything. Because even when I was having panic attacks, even when I was on like antidepressants and all of that, I still knew on some level that I was experiencing what I was experiencing to support people, because I knew that, and this is where like the collective fifth dimensional mind starts to come in. It's like whatever we experience, we're here to transcend that in order to help the collective. So if you approach everything from a growth mindset, no matter what it is that you're currently experiencing, yes, it is absolutely, and I'm not, this is another big side of it as well. I'm not saying like don't have compassion for yourself in these moments, like feel your feelings, be with what is. Don't try and like be like, I'm not in a high vibration, I'm not in a high vibration because I feel like shit. You need to be with that shitness, like in that moment. You just need to be with it, right, and feel it fully, because this is what Jenny said in the beginning about coming into a state of flow, right? It's not flow to think to yourself either, I can't be in a low vibration, I can't be in a low vibration, because when you're going through something like having an anxiety disorder or a panic disorder, and you're starting to think to yourself, right, I'm in a low vibration now, I'm attracting more low vibrational things. That's not what it's about. It's where your focus is, right? It's where you know that you are going. And one of the biggest, I believe, high vibrational, most healing things that you can do is bring love and compassion to everything that you're experiencing. If you can find a way of bringing appreciation to what it is that you're currently moving through, even if it's mental health, that is high vibrational thinking, right? That moves you into a high vibration. You are already there. It's the compassion, right, which I've talked about in previous episodes, because I know that something that has been a big part of my journey is with all of this stuff, like studying manifestation, working with coaches, and teaching manifestation myself, is like it's easy to beat yourself up on this journey as well when you're like not, you're moving through something, like maybe someone's died and you're moving through grief, or maybe something has happened, and let that be okay as well, and just know that it's something that you're moving through. It doesn't mean that you're a low vibrational person. It just means that you're moving through something right now that is uncomfortable. It's always about where your focus is going. And if you're focusing on love and self-love and compassion, no matter what it is that you're moving through, and you're choosing to love yourself in those moments, that is still being in a high vibration. We are human. We're going to have negative, shitty emotions. And the fact of this world is shit's going to happen, and you're gonna move through it. But just it's still the self-talk in those moments going, no, it's okay that I'm moving through this. I bring love and acceptance to this right now. It's not what I would prefer, but I am still a high vibrational soul. It's where your thoughts are going around this as well. So that's just another really important point that I want to emphasize here as well.
I love that. Like we said in the beginning about you've got to really feel it. And I feel like that was one of the biggest things for me when I was shifting vibration. And with my PMDD that I used to have, I had a lot of emotion. And I mean, I was crying constantly. And I feel like just in what you were saying, I've just realized that what was happening was I was blessed with this illness to be awarded the chance of an energetic purge. So basically, it was all the energy that I was stored within me. And if you imagine, you kind of blow up like Michelin Man holding on to all the energies of the past. With that illness, it was an energetic purge. Like I was just constantly crying all the time. But because I wasn't as awoken as what I am now, I was kind of ashamed of the tears that were coming out because I didn't understand what was happening. So I kept trying to hold it in. Like I'd be sat in a corporate job, bawling my eyes out at my desk, but I'd be trying to like, hold it in. And that is the worst thing that can happen. So allow yourself, and a way to raise your vibration is when you are experiencing emotion, do not hold that emotion in. Like imagine, like mine was like a volcano erupting because I'd held it in for so many years, which people do, like, oh, hold those tears in, don't cry, like we hold it in, we hold it in, we hold it in. But all that energy is just stored emotion and it's going to come out some way. So when it is wanting to come out, release it with love, allow yourself. Like I was very fortunate at the time after COVID to be working from home. And I just used to go in, like when I felt like I was going to go and cry, I'd just go and sit in a room and just allow myself that time to cry. And I mean, bawl my eyes out. Whereas at the beginning of the PMDD journey, I was trying to hold it in because I was like, I need to stop this. This is like really embarrassing. So feel your emotions. You've got to feel it to heal it. And so by releasing this energy that is stored within you, you know what it feels like when you've had a good cry? You're like, oh my God, I feel so much better now because you've literally dumped and released emotion and energy, and that will allow you to vibrate higher. So, yeah, so any emotions that you are feeling. And as well, I'll tie in laughter with that one. Like, so I am a Heyoki healer, and a Heyoki healer is you are healing people through laughter. Now, I've only obviously encountered this through plant medicine, but my friend used to always say to me when I used to go around when she was ill, like, oh, I need some Jenny medicine, because when you are laughing, you are belly laughing, you are vibrating higher. So yeah, just really allow yourself to laugh and really allow yourself to belly laugh. So I feel like I've given you two extremes there, where you've got utter like allow your emotion of crying to come out to release energy, and with laughter as well, belly laugh. Surround yourself with people that are going to make you laugh because they are high vibrational people, and yeah, just they're just going to bring you joy. So those are another two of mine to raise your vibration.
I love it. Yeah, yeah. And I think, yeah, let's maybe talk about some of the more physical ways you can raise your vibration as well, right? So I think like one for me, like a big one is like when I'm coming up against rage, especially at like time of the month and stuff like that. I think I'm better now at like let just underneath rage, there's always like the need to cry. There's always like fear or hurt, right? One of them, right? So it's like, but one of the ways you can sort of move through rage is physically moving your body, right? So doing cardio or like movement is one of the best ways to just like be like, or like screaming, or you've got to get that rage out of your body, and then you'll probably find that you move to like whatever it is next and then have a cry, right? um but yeah, let's maybe talk about more of the like physical ways. So like for me, probably the actual biggest one is dancing, right? So I'm a professional dancer, I have been for 20 years. And I go to a lot of the ecstatic dances in Manchester. But going out clubbing because I love club music, dancing around my living room, just to high vibrational music that you enjoy, right? So in itself, music, high vibrational music is the biggest one. Dancing, like singing. I know you sing a lot, Jen. Like laughter, spending time with people that are of a high vibration. And if you're at a point in your life, I totally get it. I was there for many years, up until the past maybe year, 18 months or so, where I did not have people in my life that were like on a high vibration, right? But seeking out environments and going out of your comfort zone, and I get it, when you're moving through anxiety and all of that, this can be a big thing, but finding community is like one of the biggest ones that I've found recently, and having friends that are really, really authentic and on their own healing journey and are focusing on being in a high vibration, that will massively help you. And then you've got people to share with about what it is that you're currently moving through. And if you are in Manchester, we're so incredibly blessed with the amount of communities. And, you know, Jenny runs Gateway to Your Higher Self with Catherine, you know, absolutely stunning event, you know, and being in those environments, right? So they're probably some of the main ways, like eating high vibrational foods, which for me, so what you put in your body obviously really, really matters, right? So not drinking a lot of alcohol. Yeah, for me, definitely giving up coffee, because although I'm very much a fan of cacao, full power, I still have had a coffee addiction that I am still moving through, right? So that it's like I'm really on that journey of giving that up. That's definitely a low vibrational, because what it does in your body is it creates the stress hormone cortisol, which is low vibrational, right? And that's going to make you anxious and jittery and all that, right? So it's just not, it's not good. It's like especially in terms of channeling and all that. And if you can have a, you know, maybe if you can have one whenever, that's fine, whatever's right for you. But I know personally it's not right for me. My body doesn't like it, right? So yeah, you know, like eating organic, real foods that contain a lot of light. For me, also channeling light language, because that for me is connection, it's high vibrational energy, connecting with my angels and guides, being outside in nature, right? That's probably one of the biggest ones as well. So they're like some of the main ones that I would say that I do physically. Is there anything else that you do, Jen, to raise your vibration physically?
No, I think you've mentioned them all there. I'd say as well, like I like acts of kindness and
Oh
gifting
yeah.
and, just things like that. And also as well, being somebody else's messenger. So if you see somebody else struggling and you can help them, like just offer your assistance, offer your words, offer your help. Obviously, if it's safe for you to do so, because in doing so, you raise that person's vibration and you also raise your own, because you get a real glow, you get a real buzz, don't you, when you've helped someone, because it's like a satisfactory feeling, like a true kind of, altruism of helping people. So yeah, it's about helping yourself, but helping other people. And yeah, just surround yourself by positive people. If you have got those toxic friends and you're trying to hold on to them because you've been friends with them forever, like just question, are these friends going to allow you to get to where you want to be? So this is the thing, when you start to raise your vibration, you've got to be prepared that low vibrational situations, events, people, places, jobs, boyfriends, partners are all just going to go plat and fall apart because they are no longer belonging in your high vibrational world.
Yeah, and you better believe that if you're not prepared to let go of them, the universe will
Christ.
remove them, because that is just, honestly, it's just happened to me like so many times, and it's like you better you just be prepared for that, but just know that in its place there's so much beauty. There's, you're never going to lose anything whilst you are focusing on being in a high vibration and having, beautiful, authentic, real loving connections in your life. Like, you will not lose anything ever. So what would you say then? What are the benefits then, the main benefits of raising your vibration? Why raise your vibration?
Sum it up in an absolute one sentence, because it's just absolute life changing. Like, if we think about it, and I speak a lot about this on my courses, right now, sat here listening to this podcast and going about your day to day life, you are manifesting, you are creating your life with your thoughts and your energy. So if you're in having low vibrational thoughts and you're being, hating on everything, then you are manifesting. You know, it's, we speak about, oh, we teach people to manifest. It's like, but you're doing it anyway. You just don't realize you are. But we teach people to positively manifest. So you may as well learn to manifest with this high vibrational energy that you're emitting, because in that, this is where you're going to attract everything that is meant for you in your lifetime, the right people, places, partners, events. It's just everything. Your reality shifts when you change your vibration. I am living proof of that. Amy is living proof of that. And all of the other people that have done this, you know, it's not like we're the only two people that are out there speaking about changing your vibration. You know, even songs back in the day, like I listened to that song, you know, when they're like, good, 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 good vibrations. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
this has always been known throughout society, throughout
Yeah.
history.
Not
And that's
new.
why they called it the book, The Secret, because it's like, you know, you don't wake up with a handbook, you know, when you're born, like this is how to get on and have the most epic life ever. It's like you have to discover it for yourself. But this is the secret to having an amazing life, is to keeping your thoughts aligned, to keeping your energy high vibration, and just to manifest and bring in this better energy so that then you can attract the life that you want to live. So, yeah, I feel like that sums up my why raising your vibration is important.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think you've definitely covered it. And I would say like then the actual like maybe results of that are going to be that like your health is going to benefit. So you're going to have like a healthy physical body that's energized, right? So for me that looks like being able to be like my best self as a dancer, right? So feeling like when I'm on the dance floor or when I'm on stage I can just go and go and go, right? Because my energy is in a high vibration. So with your money, for example, you know, you're always going to have more than enough, right? You know that you're supported, you know that life, the universe, your angels are all working in your favor. You've got that faith, you've got that trust. You're putting one foot in front of the other. You're taking that next step, and you know that whatever it is that you do, it's going to work because you've decided that, and because you're in a high vibration, that's what gets to happen, right? And so in your relationships, you know, whether you're in a relationship or not, it looks like you know him, that you are loved because you're loving yourself. Like you've chosen self-love, and therefore that will be reflected on the outside, right? By you meeting a beautiful aligned partner. So for me, I'm not at the minute, but Jenny is. She's met her like twin flame soulmate. But I know that at some point, whenever that will be, I will also meet mine. And I'm not in any rush for that. It would be nice. But it's like I'm going to choose and decide to enjoy the journey in the meantime. Like I'm not approaching it from a state of, I need this thing to happen in order for me to feel okay, which I did used to be a few years ago, right? But now it's like there's this like inner calm around it of it's going to happen the same way that I always knew that I was going to have my own business and I was going to be healing and helping support people, and that it was going to work, and that would be my job, in the same way that I knew that I was going to manifest like having my own house, right, when I was renting. Yeah, it's like it's just having this deep inner knowing that life is working in your favor because you have decided that that's how it works. It's an actual decision. Being in a high vibration is you consciously moving your thoughts and your energy towards having what you want and desire, right, on a soul level. Yeah, and knowing that you are worthy and deserving of that because you exist, and not because of any other reason other than you're here now having that experience. And by you having that and you deciding that, you're also raising the whole collective consciousness, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here at this time to rise up and to bring this higher vibrational energy onto the planet, because the planet needs it. It needs our love, it needs our support, right? It needs our healing. So that's my little appreciation, or I don't know, that's my little rant.
It wasn't a rant. I feel like that was a beautiful way to end it. It just felt very very rounded, yeah. And like you say, it is a choice. You wake up every morning You can either hate the life that you've got or spend your time and your energy into creating a life that you love. And it's as simple as that. It is a decision.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that feels like a really good place to end it. Does that like feel complete for
yeah,
you? Yeah,
feels good.
cool. Right, so one thing that I want to say, because totally forgot it at the beginning, was if you if you do appreciate what we're doing here, please do like and subscribe on both of our channels. Jenny's Align Authentic Self. I'm Activation Amy. You know, we both creating loads of free content that's got so much, you know, value, hopefully, to you if you're on the same journey. And you know, write in the comments if you've got anything in particular that you would like for us to speak about. And if this resonates with you, we would hugely appreciate it if you would share this podcast, share these videos with anyone that you feel may benefit from them. So we're sending you lots of love and lots of high vibrational good vibes. Have a beautiful week.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.